Motronics.
Similar to the long discontinued Chevy Avalanche, the 2024 Silverado EV RST features a multi-flex midgate, which is capable of expanding the truck's cargo capacity while maintaining seating for second row passengers. That means that the 5-foot 11-inch bed on the Silverado EV can be expanded to over 9 feet in length between the cab and the tailgate when the midgate is open. I just came back from driving the Silverado EV RST in Detroit, and I wanted to show you how the midgate works. Now, before we go forward, you'll need to decide how much of the midgate you want to actually fold. Since the midgate is split into two sections, a 60 and a 40% part, you technically have three options here. First, you can fold the 60 part down. Second, you can fold the 100% part down. And then third, you can fold the entire midgate, which is different from the second option of folding the 100% part of the midgate down. And then within all that, you also have the option to keep the rear glass in place or take it out and store it in a secure area when folding either the 100% part of the midgate or the full midgate. So first, what I'll do is I'll demonstrate folding the 60 section with the rear glass in place. To do that, first, we will need to do one thing on the front row, and that is to move the two front seats up or forward enough to get the rear seat cushions to fold. And that now takes us to the second row, where we first temporarily place the seat belt into the slot in the rear door trim to move it out of the path of the midgate. Then we fold the 60 part of the rear seat cushion forward. From there, we fold the rear seat back, and from there, we press the switch on the bottom of the midgate for less than 2 seconds. So it's a one push, one press of the button here for less than 2 seconds, and then pull on the 60 part of the midgate, thereby bringing it forward and folding it. So now you have the 60 portion of the midgate folded. And this is useful if you want to carry longer items, but you still need a seat in the second row. If you need more space widthwise and don't need a second row seat at all, meaning that you really either you have only the driver in the truck or the driver and a front passenger and nobody else, in that case you can also fold the 40 section of the midgate by following the instructions we just outlined, but essentially for the other side of the truck and the other side of the midgate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you also have the option of folding the entire midgate, including the crossbar and the rear glass. To do that, first, what we'll do is, in the front row again, move the two front seats up or forward enough to be able to actually fold the rear seat cushions. And then we go to the second row, or the rear row, where we first affix the rear seat belts in the designated storage locations on the C-pillar trim. Then we fold the rear seat back cushions forward on both sides, the 60 and the 40 part. Then we fold both the rear seat backs. Next, we make sure that the rear glass defroster is turned off. If you remove the rear glass with the rear defroster on, you may see a discharge spark coming from the rear glass area. Having ensured that the rear defroster is in fact off, we then remove the rear glass by pulling on the handles and stowing it within the frontmost part of the midgate, placing the bottom portion of the glass in first and then pushing the top part of the glass into the secure holder. And then finally, we press the switch on the bottom, that release switch on the bottom of the midgate, to release the entire midgate and then fold it down. Now, when you're doing this, you should note that the midgate with the crossbar is heavier than either the 60 or the 40 parts. So make sure that you're holding it strongly enough so it doesn't actually slam down. And as you can see, folding the entire midgate with the actual crossbar and the rear glass delivers a substantially larger opening than folding the 100 part of the split part of the midgate. Now, those who need even more space, even more length than 9 feet, you can actually also prop up the secondary load stop of the multi-flex liftgate, which will give you roughly another foot as far as the length is concerned and storing long items. But do note that that secondary load stop, it is only a few inches tall, so whatever it is that you're carrying, if you're planning on using it as a stopper and extending the length of the bed even further, then just keep in mind that you're going to have to tie some stuff down or secure it in some other way, because that, again, that secondary load stop is only, 6 inches tall or so. And then let's not forget the e-trunk or the frunk, which provides a solid amount of lockable and weatherproof storage in the front of the truck. The frunk has enough space to fit a large hard-side suitcase along with various accessory options, or even say 2 carry-ons as well, along with a few accessories to boot. Now, one quick note before I let you go about the midgate and its availability. This is one of the more common questions that we have received over at gmauthority.com. So the model that was used for the demonstration in this video is the Silverado EV RST First Edition, which retails for nearly $100,000 US. And this is really the only consumer-focused or retail-focused version or trim level of the Silverado EV that is currently available as I record this video in May of 2024. However, in the near future, the Silverado EV lineup will grow to include the likes of LT, as well as Trail Boss, and probably a few other trim levels as well that are common to the Silverado family. And as a result of that upcoming model and trim level expansion for the Silverado EV, I expect the Multiflex Midgate to become available on other more affordable trim levels of the Silverado EV. In other words, if you're not looking to shell out roughly 100 grand for an electric Silverado with a trick midgate right now, just wait a bit and lower priced models that will be sold at the retail level will become available. For gmauthority.com and the Metrolix Network, I'm Alex Luft. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Motrolix.